Hey guys, it's radio host Lady P and cousin Howard. See, he's not even paying
How
attention.
y'all doing?
And this okay.
Oh, you
Today is
host?
obviously one of those days. So this is the new relationship show where we talk about relationship issues from a male and female standpoint. I seem to have lost all my audio. Not sure exactly why. I'm hoping that the recording will come through because I don't know. But anyway, in the meantime,
already,
we
man.
are here. We are talking about relationship issues from a male and female standpoint. We've got cousin Howard, and we've got our
Peace.
contestants, Nan and Ben. And the first segment of the show is a battle of the sexes. This is where we test our knowledge of the opposite sex. So where we are in the third month of 2021, the month of January, Team Blue won. The month of February, Team Pink won. So this month is a big thing to see which team, really, cousin, which team will win the month of March. Can you say something so I can see if I can hear you?
What, me?
I
am-
cannot
I'm
hear
talking
you.
to
Okay, that's a problem.
You're not hearing me?
It's
You can hear me?
definitely
You
a
hearing
problem
Ben?
Can you
because
hear?
I need to get
You hear Nan and Ben? Because I'm hearing you real good.
say something now, cousin.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I'm hearing
The
nothing.
guys ain't testing.
Is that going? Oh, there you go. Okay.
Hey, you can hear me now?
Yes.
You
I've
sure?
got all these. Really, I've got all these wires jumbled up, and I just got to make sure I don't touch anything, so that we don't
Need to buy
disconnect.
you one of those towers that you plug everything in one spot. Quit having all them wires all over the place.
Really? Well, the thing is, with having four machines, four computers, two controllers, two mixers, one controller, it's not going to be one plug. I'm just saying.
I know, that's why you got the tower that holds like 12. And you don't have all those wires dangling
Also,
by your leg.
why don't you get me a tower?
I'll get you one.
Thank you. I love my
Only
cousin.
because, yeah, right.
Okay, so now with all the issues that I've had, we are like a little bit behind, so we want to get going now. Since Team Pink won last month, it's up to Team Pink to say whether they want to go first or whether they want the boys to go first. So, Nan, up to you.
The boys can go first.
Okay, so Team Blue first. Ben, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so your first question
Come
is
on, Ben, let's do this.
Your first question is this. Who was Barbie's sister? And by Barbie, I mean the Barbie doll. Your options are this. A, Sarah. B, Skipper. C, Summer. Would you like your 10 seconds?
Repeat just the question again. Who was Barbie's sister?
Right, who was Barbie's sister?
Okay.
So would you like your 10 seconds?
Yeah, give me my 10 seconds.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And your answer?
I think it was Skipper.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yay!
Whatever, cousin. Good job. So your next question is this. If you get a French tip, what are you getting? A fruity drink.
Hold on. Repeat the question again.
If you get a French tip, what are you getting? French. Like France,
French
the
tip.
country France. French tip. If you-
French kiss.
Tip.
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 T-I-P.
Drink.
So your options are
tip.
this. A fruity drink. B, money, C, manicure.
Hold on. I don't think Ben understood what you just
I
said.
asked the
'Cause he
question,
said
cousin,
drink.
the
No, but he said drink.
cousin. Your options, Ben, are A, a fruity drink, B, money, C, manicure. The question is, if you get a French tip, what are you getting? Would you like your 10 seconds?
A French tip.
Tip. T
Okay.
like
Give me,
pardon me?
yeah, give me my 10 seconds.
Okay. And cousin, that's just like that one question that you kept
10,
asking.
9, 8,
Except I
7,
tried to,
6,
except I tried to
5,
explain, unlike
4,
you.
3, 2, 1.
What you got?
That's to be the manicure.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yay!
And cousin, we don't need the peanut gallery trying to explain stuff because unlike you, if it's a question that is possible that he didn't hear, I will repeat it and not repeat it in such a way that he doesn't hear what I'm saying. I'm just bringing that out to you. So Ben, your last question is this. How many garters are on a garter belt? Your options
How
are
many garters
on a
are
garter
the
belt.
garter belt?
Yes, on a garter belt. Your options are this: A, 2, B, 4, C, 6. Would you like your 10 seconds?
I'm going to use my life.
I knew you were going to use your life like that. Okay, cousin. Come on, cousin.
Why you say it like that? The answer is B, 4.
Why I say it like that?
Okay.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
You know, cousin.
Yay!
If
Ben?
Nan doesn't know something, I would never do that to you. Or not.
Now, let me close my mouth. I'm just going, in the interest of time, because I'm just going to keep it going. So, Ben, congratulations. You got all 3 correct. Nan, here we go with the questions for Team Pink. Cousin, come on.
Which major car company uses the prancing horse as its trademark? A, General Motors, B, Porsche, or C, Ferrari? Did you hear me?
Okay, repeat the question. Repeat the question.
Which major car company using a prancing horse as its trademark? You want me to repeat the answers?
Yes.
A, General Motors, B, Porsche, or C, Ferrari?
Would you like your 10 seconds?
Give me my 10 seconds, please.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And your answer?
I am going to guess Ferrari.
And there's more than 10 seconds.
Yay!
As many times as I had to repeat the stuff to you, are you really gonna go there? You
didn't even let me ask her if that was her final
I asked her. I think.
No, you didn't.
In my mind, I asked her. I can't help it if y'all didn't hear what I said in my mind. In my mind, I asked her. I can't help it if y'all can't hear what I said in my mind. But I said it. I'm just saying.
Question 2. Where is Jack Daniels whiskey made? A, New Orleans, B, Tennessee, or C, Virginia? Did you hear me?
Tennessee.
Yes,
Yay!
Oh, that's two correct, which means that on this last question, she can use her lifeline. Ooh, I hear a tiebreaker coming. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead with your third question,
Ben?
cousin.
Get ready for this tiebreaker, because I got a stinking feeling she's going to use
Oh,
the lifeline.
why she
for this
can't
one.
use her lifeline? That's what I'm here for.
I didn't say she can't. I said I
Yeah,
got
but
a
you
feeling.
So
you
you better be
remind
ready
her.
for the tiebreaker because we about to win. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What country is Heineken beer from? A, Denmark, B, Germany, or C, Holland?
Now remember, you can use your lifeline right now. I'm just saying.
Where is Heineken beer?
Yeah. Where is it manufactured?
Give me the three choices again.
Use your lifeline, girl. But go ahead.
A, Denmark, B, Germany, C, Holland.
Come on with the lifeline, girl.
Stop reminding her.
I'm just because I'm trying to get to the
She
tiebreaker.
knows. Trust me, she knows.
All right.
If you're not sure, use the lifeline.
Would you be quiet, woman?
You said what? I
You see,
didn't.
if you were quiet, you would have heard her.
You want to use your lifeline? Okay. So your lifeline is a good choice. The answer is C, Holland.
Yay!
So what that means is that we do have 3 correct for Team Pink as well. So we're going to go into a lifeline. So as usual, the lifeline has to do with something that we, all of us in the audience, on the show right now should know. So we're going to talk sitcom. So the question is this. Now, making sure that both of you can hear me, I need to know who's gonna go first. So the question is, on the sitcom Martin, everyone's familiar with Martin, right?
I was just going to ask you not to use Martin,
Oh,
but go ahead.
you don't want to use Martin? Would you like me to pick another sitcom?
Sure.
Yeah, the last 3 times you used Martin, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I used Living Single, remember? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I wasn't here for that one.
Somebody was asking you. If you had been here, you would have known. Anyway, on the sitcom Martin, be ready. I need the first person. Where was
Get
it?
ready, Ben.
Okay, where was it that Tommy worked?
It don't work. It doesn't work.
Man, what the hell? Yes, that's correct. Tommy didn't have no job.
Yay!
Nice drive.
So, what that means, Ben, congratulations. You pulled it through on the tiebreaker. Because, yes, Tommy didn't have a job. That was the whole thing. Anytime we talked about it, it was like, Tommy ain't got no job. So, congratulations. That means that Team Blue has won this first week of March. Congratulations. And we will meet again next week and do a matchup and kind of see.
Thank you.
Who's saying thank you? Cousin Howard, like he did something? What you did? All you did was ask some questions. Ben is the
We
one that
appreciate
did it.
it. Thank you again.
All right, and we will see you same time next week. Bye. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Thanks, both of you. Oh, cousin is so excited. So, yes, thank you for playing the game, and we'll see you next week, okay?
All right, then.
Okay.
All right.
Talk to you
Thank
later.
you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Y'all.
All right. So, cousin. Okay, there you are. So, Jamian and Naomi should be joining us shortly. And this week, instead of one topic of the week, we actually have 2. So I figured that one of them, the second one, is one that you brought up. So
But I want to see one here.
I sent an email where I said in addition. I sent the original email, and then I sent an email this week where I said that Cousin Howard had a topic, so we're going to add his topic to our topics of the week that we'll discuss. So, did you want to discuss that one first, or did you want to wait for.
But I can't find that email. I only found the one from last week.
Okay. Well, I sent it this week. But you told me what the topic was. I mean, the topic came from you. But my question is, do
Yeah,
men?
but I don't remember what it was because you know they say the memory is the first thing to go.
Oh, is that what they say? Okay. I'm just saying. But anyway, so cousin, um, we're gonna go with the original topic, giving them a chance to join us, and then we'll go into the topic that you asked. Would you like me to tell you what the topic was?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
The one
I
that
got so many in my head.
okay, the one that you wanted us to discuss is why do a lot of women, and I added, or men, when
Oh,
being
okay.
intimate, yeah, that topic. So we're gonna go with the
Yeah.
original topic first, which is, would you relocate for love? Would you willingly enter into a long distance relationship? So that's the topic. What do you say on that one?
The long distance thing, it could work if both parties want it to work. But if one is giving more than the other, it won't because I expect it to crumble within a couple of weeks, if that long. Because when you're in a long distance relationship, you got to work 10 times harder than if you're in the same location. Hey, honey, how you
Hey
doing?
Naomi, how are
Hel-
you?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Doing good.
So we just actually got to the topics. We were doing the first one before we added the second one that cousin wanted us to talk about. So we were talking about would you relocate for love and would you willingly enter into a long distance relationship. So cousin Howard had started giving us his thoughts on that. His thoughts were that a long distance relationship wouldn't work unless both people were willing to put in the work, and if not, it would last only about a couple weeks. So that was about as far as he got. Would you like to continue, cousin?
Sure. I mean, seriously, for me, if I enter into one and I called you 2, 3 times and you can't pick up, you ain't got to worry about me no more because I ain't got that kind of time. I am not going to be pushing for something that you're not working hard as I am to make it work. So it's best we cut the ties now than to invest a whole lot of time and energy and all of that just to have you say, well, a month down the road, this is not working for me. You know, I ain't with that. Tell me straight up right here, right now. And if you're willing to put in all the work, which means it don't matter if we in a time difference or we in the same time zone, you got to put in the work to at least try. If you're not willing to try and you're not willing to trust that person 110%, don't waste nobody's time. Keep it moving. Yo, it's not going to work. See you when I see you. Bye-bye. You know, that's me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm hasty. Maybe I need to learn to have patience, but patience is not one of my virtues.
No.
You know.
We didn't know that, cousin Howard.
Cousin, if you didn't, oh my gosh, you just told us something new that we ain't even know.
We didn't know that.
Have your fun. Have your fun.
Well, first of all, I want to say it's good to see you, cousin Howard.
Likewise, likewise.
Lacey, always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to see you. When it comes to the long distance relationship, I agree with that. You have to put in the work, but you also have to put in the happiness and the joy. You can't go into a long distance, any relationship, but especially a long distance relationship, just thinking about the fact that it's a lot of work, because that in itself puts a burden on a relationship. It's fun, it's joyful. You have to look at the upbeat sides of it. I was in a long distance relationship for 5 years, and it was, yes, it was work, but it was fun. It was fun. it was joy, it was bonding, um, it was delightful, and I wouldn't trade it I wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world. What I will say is when it comes to relocating, because that's what it came down to. We looked at could he relocate to Houston, and he was actually in a well-known band, and he was the musical director for that band. So he had to see would it be feasible to move to Houston and fly back to Detroit every time for rehearsals, every time the group went on tour, that type of thing. And it was easier for me as an HR professional to move to Detroit. But I was a single parent. And as much as I wanted to go, my son had a talk with me, and he said, Mom, I do not want to go. And I had to weigh the fact of, if I do this, and my son gets there, my son who I've never had any problem with, and for someone else that may be, this is my analogy, and you can make it fit to your situation when you have to make the decisions. But would I be willing to relocate with my child, knowing that he told me that, knowing that I never had any problems with him, knowing that he was going from a great school to a city where the school system was known not to be as good? Right. And if I ran into trouble with him, could I even fault him because he told me from the beginning that he didn't want to go? So you have to weigh the factors, whatever those factors are for you. And unfortunately, because of that, I had to, turn down a proposal as well. But it was the decision. But the long distance relationship itself, it was good. It was good enough for me to want to make a commitment had it not been for the tough choice that I had to make of leaving my son or moving on with him, knowing that he may go in a different direction as a result of being there and exposed to things. So there's just some things to consider. But can it happen? Yes. Can it be wonderful? Yes. Were there ups and downs? Yes. Were there times that there had to be a growth of trust? And you build trust in any relationship.
Right.
But
True.
there had to be a higher level of commitment and trust. And I wouldn't necessarily call that hard work. That was a journey.
Okay. Well,
I'm with you on that.
for me, at this point in my life, I would not willingly enter into a long distance relationship only because I have children. I'm not in a position to relocate. And in my opinion, when you are in a long distance relationship, you need to have an end game, right? So it should be, okay, well, we're doing this for X amount of time, and then the end game, we're going to do this or not. And I know that I am not in a position to relocate. Now, the thing about it is I have relocated before, but this is in my younger years before I had kids, where I was in a relationship that was long distance for a short period of time, and I decided to relocate so that I could give it an opportunity to see. Because actually I've done it twice. The first time was very young. My first husband actually, and when we first started dating, we lived in the same state, went to the same college, and then it was a 2-year college, and he got a scholarship to a college in another state. So for the next 2 years, we did long distance, and then when he finished, we ended up getting married. But what I found in that was that there were things that were issues, and because it was long distance, because I knew that it was like few and far between when we saw one another, I didn't make an issue with those things, which I should have, but I mean, I was young. And so then when the long distance part was over and we got married, and then I was like, hold up, this is a problem. My first husband, he was like, well, you didn't have a problem with it before. And it was like, because I didn't speak up, because I'm like, well, I don't want we have this one weekend, maybe once a month. I don't want to take the whole time arguing about the list stuff to get on my nerves. And it ended up being a problem when, we were back together because of the distance. And that was just, I guess, in my youth, how I handled it. Later on, when I did it again, I was about 30, and in that case, I made the decision to move because I just wanted to give the relationship an opportunity to see how we would do, being around each other more frequently and living in close proximity. And that relationship ended up not working. Hey, Jamian. So yeah, it didn't work out. We didn't stay together, but I wouldn't have known until I made the choice to relocate and, give it a chance and see whether or not it would work. So, but now, today, at this point in my life, I would not make that choice again because now not only am I older, but I have children to think about. I can't just up and, move them anywhere. So I think if someone was out of state and they, Jamie, you're sideways. If someone was out of state and they were, oh, there you go, and they were trying to pursue something with me, I wouldn't because, I know I'm not moving. And, it's hard for someone to relocate with work. And because it's so difficult for men of color, with employment, if someone had a good job in another state, I don't think I would be comfortable asking them to make such a move unless their job was relocating them. You know what I mean? So move and put them in a situation where now it's hard for them to find work. I just personally, at this, where I am, I guess, this season of my life, I just decide not to go there. And I think we lost him to a poor network. J-Man, I don't know if you can still hear us, but we're not seeing you any longer. It says poor network for you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just can't see you.
All right, let me see. Hold on.
And I hear echo.
On him? Because I don't hear any echo right now. Everything seems, everything is coming through okay. You just heard an echo on him, or you're hearing an echo with me as well?
I heard it with him, but he's gone.
Okay, so he'll try and join us back. So, I guess I think what happens is different situations that we go through in our life kind of frame how we feel about different things. You know what I mean? Because I speak to the long distance and the relocation because I've done it, as opposed to, and your experience with it was different than mine, so it just is.
Yeah, it was different, Lady P, because when we had our visits, I didn't hold back. We talked about what got on each other's
First of all, what you not gonna do?
We talked about what got on, but it was understanding that we were trying to get to know each other. We knew that we really wanted to know each other, and we gave each other permission to do that as part of the getting to know each other experience.
Right.
We really did.
And see, that was as a mature.
You gotta be straight up with whosoever, and like I said, put in the work. And if you get a missed call, don't lie and say I didn't hear the phone. No missed call showed up on my phone.
Cousin, I'm just curious because you keep bringing up this whole thing about if I call you 3 times and if you got a missed call, what happened to you? Did something happen where you was calling the little chick and she ain't call you back? Because you've been like so specific on this. I'm just asking. Naomi didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and that can happen locally too. Don't blame it on the long distance. That can happen locally.
They be like, "Oh, it's just Howard. I ain't picking that up. I don't feel like talking to him." I'm just saying.
You're really trying to get him.
But no. I'm just saying. But no. So Naomi, back to your point. At the time, I was 18 to 20. So really not at the mature level where I felt like I could express things, because they say we don't really reach full maturity till we're about 25. So, and actually I married him at 21, and by the time I was 25, we had problems because I had opinions that didn't match his, growing into myself. So that was like just a different type situation because I think my age and my level of maturity. But even in that, now at this age, I just, I just wouldn't. Just because I know I'm not in a position to relocate anywhere. And I really, honestly, anyone tried to reach out from out of state, I'd be like, I wouldn't even pursue it,
I think you bring up a good point, Lady P, that one of the qualities is being adventurous.
Okay.
That's one of the qualities that will make a long distance or that can make a long distance relationship be more positive.
So you back on Jamien's bandwagon when he was talking about I'm not adventurous because I don't want to do that. Hold up, Naomi, what you saying?
You know what I mean? She's trying to jump at everybody.
What you saying? No, but I'm thinking back that one. You know what I'm talking about, Naomi? The one show we had, and I'm like, so what you saying? Because I don't personally. I don't think it's because I'm not adventurous. It's just that I know that I can't move. I've got small kids, and I can't pick them up and relocate because I've got. I'm sorry, what?
Hey, it's not that you're not adventurous, but you're just not adventurous.
No, what I'm saying is my current situation, I am doing joint custody with my children's father, and I am not in a position to relocate anywhere. I cannot, without his permission, move more than 50 miles away. So, so why start something when I know good and well that there's no way,
50 miles is long distance.
Jesus, the offense all around me every day. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna be transparent, Lady P, and I'm gonna say when I started my first my long distance relationship, when we met, I thought it was gonna be a one-off. I didn't think it was gonna be something that was gonna go on for a long time, and it turned into something that did. And that's just being transparent, because long distance relationship don't always start with, we're going to do this long distance relationship. You meet someone and you think that, it's a one-off, and you find out that it's something much more.
Yeah,
and
I guess
build
so, but...
a relationship. Yeah. And that's what happened. A relationship was built. A deep relationship was built. And that's what happened. And in life, that's what happens sometimes. It's not that you set out to have a long-distance relationship.
But I guess my thing is, the minute that I know that you don't live close by me, I'm not going to pursue it because even if it doesn't turn out to be anything, I don't even, why even go there, because
adventure.
Thank you.
Adventure.
Cousin, I know
now, I was
that
younger too.
Cousin,
I was younger too. I'm talking about a different time in life, but that was it. Adventure.
Where I hopscotch across the country, and vice versa.
How old are your children? They grown, right?
No, they are.
Okay, so you as the father and not the custodial parent, when they weren't grown, were they with you? Did they have anything to do with whether you could up and go somewhere or not? It's a little bit different because my children are under the age of 18. They live with me, and I can't just up and go anywhere because I am the custodial parent. So it's a little different, cousin. I'm just saying. Anyway, if y'all done picking on me, let me give Jamien a chance. Jamien, the topic tonight is, would you relocate for love, and would you willingly enter a long-distance relationship? So your thoughts?
Yes and no.
So yes, you would relocate for love, and no, you wouldn't willingly enter into a long-distance relationship. And
I mean, we've talked about this before. For me, I've done long distance before. It doesn't work for me. I am one of those people, like, I need the physical contact. I need, not necessarily I need to be having sex every night, although I ain't going to say no. But what I will say, girl, stop it. All right. Put some clothes on. No, that ain't going to happen. what I will say is that, like for me, it's the energy you get from that other person. Like it's something about that physical contact, that touch, that I need, that I know I need. Like I could kid myself and be like, nah, I'd be cool. I already know. That is something that I need in a relationship. That's what enables me, even if we're like fighting or upset or what have you, like just that we're in proximity, like I can touch you like that. It solidifies the relationship for me. But I say that to say that I can do anything for a finite amount of time. Like if let's say she gets a big opportunity where she has to go to South America for 6 months to study some rainforest or something, right? I can do 6 months. We'll Skype or call whenever we can, but as long as I know there's an end date, like I know that at the end of this time it's over, like I can do it.
Gotcha.
But when you saying I live here, you live there, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Number one. Yeah, I don't want to. I just don't. To me, I just know myself, and I know I'd be miserable. I'm not saying I'm a cheat or anything, but I would just end up ending it because I wouldn't be happy. And of course, we all say these things, with a grain of salt, because let's be honest. When God puts you in the right situation, it's the right person. You
right.
do anything. You know what you do. So
True.
I'm just saying, from what I know of myself and how I function and the situation that's best for me, I can't do long distance. But when you love someone, I don't think there should be any qualms about you two sitting down and saying, if it's best for us to be where you are, then I'll move. If it's best for us to be where I am, then you move, and do that, whether you're the man or the woman. I don't think it should be looked down upon a man moving because she's president or CEO of a bank where she's at, and I'm teaching school online. Like, okay, I think I can move. You know what I mean? Or even if it's not like that transportable a job, maybe my job doesn't transport, but her and I are talking, and it's like we want to buy a house, blah blah blah. I can find a job where you are. Like, I think relocation that's if y'all are in love and you're planning out the rest of your lives, then who cares who moves where?
Well, I know with me too, the part with long distance. I mean, it's different if you're in a relationship and someone gets transferred, but to actually begin it and that they don't live nowhere by you, and then you go somewhere, your car breaks down, and you can't even call your babe. Well, I mean, what I got a man for if you can't help me, and I'm like stuck on the side of the road? I'm just saying. As a female,
I think a man's supposed to be for more than just roadside assistance.
I understand. I mean, I got AAA, but what I'm saying is, for me to go into a long distance relationship and then like all the stuff that come up and all the issues where if you had your dude, they could come help you. They like 500 miles away. I mean, I'm just saying. But I've done it before. I've relocated before. But now, just where I am. So I guess I was adventurous when I was younger before I had kids. But where I am right now in my life, it just wouldn't work for me. So we actually
I mean, that's those situations I'm talking about. Like if you're in love with somebody and they can't move, and you guys are trying to plan how your lives are going to go, and you guys want to be together, then what's stopping you from moving where they are?
What, me personally?
No, not you personally.
But
obviously,
I'm saying it depends on your situation because... I'm sorry, what? What, cousin?
Is there something we need to know? That you keep trying to turn this back on you?
We're talking about a topic. We're giving our opinions of the topic.
We will support you, whatever you decide.
Well, seeing as I'm not in a relationship, long distance or otherwise, I don't need you for support. But if that should come up, I'll make sure I bring them on the show like I did with the one prospect, and y'all can help it out, okay? Thank you, cousin.
Wow.
I'm just
No,
saying.
what I was saying, Lady P, I was saying if someone was interested or in love with someone who is in a situation like you,
Oh, I see what
they
you're
should
saying.
have no problem moving. So stop being so defensive.
No, but
it ain't always
what
about
I
you.
had said before you came on the
No,
show is
but
that
who hurt you?
no,
Who hurt you,
what
huh?
I had said
Who
before
hurt
I came on the
Who
show
hurt
though
you?
was
We here
that
for you. We love you. It's okay. Who hurt you? What did he do?
oh my
Huh?
Jesus. What I was saying before you came on the show, Jamie, is that I wouldn't feel comfortable asking someone to move to where I am with no job prospect because it's hard for a black male to find employment sometimes. You know, so I just, me, myself, I wouldn't feel comfortable even asking that of someone. So I wouldn't even start. You know, I'm just saying. I'd just be like, oh, you live out, ooh, okay, well. I would say maybe we could be friends, but I got enough friends, so I wish you all the best. I'm just saying. That's just me. So anyway, let's move on. So what happened this week, we have a second topic because Cousin brought a topic to me that he wanted us to discuss. I think it's something personal to him. I'm not sure, but he brought the topic up.
No, it's nothing
I don't
personal.
know. I mean, he called
Quit
me all.
trying
He
to throw
called
me
and
under
called
the
and
bus.
called. And he was like, "Cousin, I got this topic that we gotta talk." And I'm like, I'm just saying. But anyway, so the topic is this: why do men or women, when being intimate with their partner, think about another man or woman? Cousin, since it was your topic, would you like to take it first, please? Thank you.
I just asked the question because a couple of people asked me about it. And I was like,
So you had a friend. It wasn't
Something-
you. Go ahead.
something missing from your current relationship. That's why. And this one lady told me, well, my first was the only one that could get me there. And when I want to get there, I think about him. And I'm like, I said, but she said, I don't scream his name or nothing like that. I'm like, damn, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Look, that's why you call everybody baby, then you ain't got to worry about all that. And I'm just playing. I'm playing.
You know, but, you know, I don't know. Personally, I'm not even going to lie. I've done it a couple of times. You know, because it was just easier to do that than to actually look and see what I was doing. You know, because, I mean, and I'm because one Lady P want to throw me under the bus, I throw myself under there. Yeah. But it's not, I'm not proud of it. And I hope nobody never have done it to me.
I'm sure they have.
See?
I mean, because it's just called karma, baby. You do it. I mean, I'm just saying, what goes around comes around. So if you've done it, I'm sure it's been done to you. I'm just saying. I'm just
But,
sharing.
you know, it's just too many people have been asking me about it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me put it to the team. That's why I put it to you and everybody else here.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, it's not right. It's not fair. You shouldn't do it. But people still are doing
let me
it
see
today.
if I understand this correctly. You're saying that while you was having sex with some girl, you was picturing somebody else,
Yeah.
and you're saying that's not right.
No, it's not. Because you should be picturing just the person you're with.
Why?
That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have never done
I
that.
think you're getting into kind of, to me, you're dealing with people's thoughts and what they should and shouldn't be thinking, trying to govern
No,
how
I'm
our
not-
minds
I'm not
are.
I'm not
Yeah,
trying
you
to
are,
govern
because you're
nobody.
saying it's wrong to think one thing, and you can.
In my book.
Personally,
In my book.
I don't believe is wrong. I don't believe you can tell someone what to think or what not to think. What you can
cannot.
do is if she tells you, look, when we're having sex, I keep picturing my ex-boyfriend, you need to maybe explore why that image is coming up for her.
But
you
do you
can't
think
tell
she
her,
would
"Stop
actually
thinking
say
about him."
that? Do you think she would admit
But-
it? I don't think she would.
I don't know. He
I
brought
mean-
this up. I'm just-
No, I'm just
Would
saying.
you admit something like that, Jay?
maybe to my therapist.
Right, but not to the not like while you having sex. You know,
No, not
I'm
to the-
sorry,
not to
baby.
the
I just
person
want you
you
to know I was thinking of so
You
and
know
so.
what?
I
You
mean,
know what? It depends though. It depends because if we're having problems, like let's say the relationship has, and we're really trying to be honest and get to the bottom of what our issue
that
is.
wouldn't solve your problem. That would
what I'm
not
saying
solve
is
your
sometimes
problem.
honesty is overrated, and it's certain things that you
No, I get
probably shouldn't share.
But what I'm saying is, if that was happening for me and it kept happening, and it became an issue where it was causing issues in the relationship, I don't know. I don't know if I would or if I wouldn't. If we were in a therapy type situation where the doctor is like getting us to explore or whatever, and we're being honest, there might be a point at which I feel comfortable in sharing it. But I think for the most part, I would be more looking at trying to figure out why I'm picturing my ex. Is it I want to get back with my ex? Is it that, she used to do things that this girl is doing and is bringing up similarities or something? Or is it my ex was better than her, and or was my ex completely horrible, and I'm picturing my ex so I don't come so quick? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I doing? Why am I picturing? So I think like if this is happening to you, I think you just have to kind of self-explore and figure out why you're picturing this other person. If it's not something you're consciously trying to do, if it's something you're consciously trying to do, then that's on you, and you obviously don't want to be with the person you're with. I don't know if it's big.
Naomi, your thought?
He's like, why did I call him?
I knew I shouldn't have called this week. Dang on cousin Howard and his topics. Shoot.
I'm going to take this strictly from an educational standpoint versus an experience. I'm going to try to stay with the education part. So I talk a lot about these relationship interviews that I did. And when I went on this journey of doing over 200 relationship interviews. And, of course, sex was talked about a lot. And I'm thankful to the men that I interviewed that allowed me to really get into the space of what was going on with them in relationships. And that subject came up, more so with the men than with the women. And what I found through that, and also verified it with through the Gottman Institute, which is what made me do the interviews from the start, was that a lot of men do fantasize. A lot of men do fantasize. A lot of men explore with, be it soft or hard porn. They explore with that, and what it does, it creates a fantasy in the mind. And sometimes when you're having sex, you fantasize. It's the fantasy, and maybe the person you're with makes you feel a certain way that takes you back into a fantasy state, and you find yourself having flashes. So I know that happens, admit it or not. It's not a question, it's a statement. I know that happens. My feelings about it is something different, but I know that it happens. And so when the study came back and they tied it to the fact that it's human nature to compare sometimes. That comparison is a human nature. And so while that doesn't give it a pass, that's kind of what happens in that space. So some people do it with role play because they know the power of it. Some people stay away from it for that same reason because they know the power of it. And I don't. But like Jamian said, you can't control someone's thoughts. You can let them know the impact of those thoughts, but you can't control their thoughts. So when it comes to that, I'm like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Because I know it happens, and I know it can mean a myriad of things. And if I do find out it's happening in my relationship, I'll allow it to be unpacked versus putting my own definition behind it.
Well, my thought on it when cousin called me about it and we were talking about it, I said, I don't recall ever doing that, during the actual intimate act because I try to be present. And to me, when I'm present, I can't be present if I'm thinking about somebody else and I'm in my mind talking about who can do it like G? Nobody. I'm just saying. So I'm just saying. So
No, you know she think about somebody else, right?
no, but I don't think
You
about
just told
anybody
yourself.
during what because I make a conscious effort to be present in the situation that I'm in. You know, not maybe at other times when things aren't going well, maybe just get into an argument and then you have a thought like, you know, of how it was with someone else, but not, you know, during intimacy, right? But then that's just me. So, you know, your question was why do a lot of women when being intimate with their partner think about another man? And I don't think that that's necessarily so. Maybe some do, but like in my case, I haven't during the intimate act, you know, been thinking about anyone else. So, you know, that's just my thought. You already said that you do, cousin, so you can't go back and try to backtrack and say, well, no, what I meant to say, and I agree with what all of y'all say. I'm just saying, because you be the one doing
I ain't
it.
trying to backtrack nothing.
Okay.
I know me. I'm not gonna lie. Like whenever I'm in that situation, it's hard for me to think about anybody else because I'm so focused on the person I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause
Right.
to me, I'm listening to her. I'm listening to the sound she's making. I'm paying attention to her body, how it's moving. Like, am I hitting it? Are we in a groove? Like, if we're having cause I'm focused. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know possibly how someone thinks of someone else. Me personally, from the way I do it. But I mean, if that's your thing, I said go for it.
Right. So, you know, it is what it is. But now, what'd you say,
I'm
Naomi?
not judging that much.
I see. It looked like you were saying something, but I couldn't hear you. You just shaking your head.
I said I'm not messing with that one.
Oh,
I'm not messing.
you'll leave that one alone. Yeah. So I mean, I think what this shows is just, you know, as before, with all of us on the panel being different people, having had different things happen in our lives, they kind of frame who we are, how we think on certain things, which is why I think it's good to have the panel, because then between what our individual thoughts are, then we can touch on something that maybe one of our listeners has, you know, had a question on, or, you know, something that they can relate to with one of us. So with that being said, we're going to...
I have a question. Does it even matter? Like, I'm just wondering, like, if you never knew, and the person, your relationship was great, you know, it wasn't like they were cheating on you or doing anything like that, but during sex, she liked to picture Thor, wasn't it? Chris Hemsworth, instead of you.
Oh.
But like,
why don't you say Idris Elba? I'm just saying, pick somebody.
That was
Idris.
That was the thing. But I'm saying that was the thing that just got her motor running. That was the thing that got her going. That just did it for her, right? Like, you guys will see a Marvel movie. Next thing you know, she all on you. You know, would it matter? I'm just saying. Would you care unless you knew? Is what I'm saying. Like, if she told you, and I think she would tell you to hurt your feelings, so it's probably y'all breaking up or something. But if you never knew.
That's why I never thought about you when we did it anyway. So now, how about that? That would be wrong, though.
I'm just saying. To me, it's not even something in the realm of anything that I would even concern myself with or be worried about, unless it was something she told me about because it was an issue or a problem. And at that point, then you address it as the issue and problem that it is, not as something that's systemic in women relationships or anything like that.
Gotcha.
But if that's what a person needs to do to get themselves going so they can take care of their lover, then handle your business, I guess. I don't see
And
a good or
I
bad.
have to agree with
It
that.
just is what it is.
I have to agree with that. It's the impact of it. Because for the people that's listening, maybe we're speaking to someone who this happens to, and they don't know how to deal. They think something is wrong with them for thinking of someone, even though they love the person that they're with, but they may have a flashback. I mean, you could be in the midst of it, close your eyes, and somebody else pop up, and you'd be like, "What the?" You know, and so you hurry up and open your eyes because wait a minute.
This one lady told me she did it because her ex was the only one that got her to that point. She loved her current boyfriend, fiance, whatever he was, but for her to, like Jamin said, come, she had to imagine him, and then she come like a thunderstorm, and
Really,
once
that's
it's over,
TMI. You had to go all into that.
I think
kind
that's
of
one.
detail.
I think that's one instance, and that's why I say for the listeners, that's one instance. For the listener that it happened to, and you didn't even realize it was happening until it happened, and you feel guilty about it, or you don't know where it came from, or anything like that, and it only happened that one time, or whatever. The same thing. We just want you to know that
It's okay.
you know, that there is research back there that backs up that this does happen, that this is common, not to the point where it's a recurring problem, but that you may have at some point in your relationship that may have happened. And then there's the other part of it where it's just a part of role play. Both parties are in agreement that you're both going to think of someone else, or that one of you are going to think of someone else, because there are different types of relationships. There are different types of love, intimate relationships, different types of adventures within those relationships. So just really having a true conversation about that is what I like about this platform being able to do with, of course, what I think for diverse individuals when it comes to relationships.
I agree. So,
Okay.
if we are good on this, I wanted to move into our letter. Yes?
Sure.
Okay. So the letter goes like this. Dear Lady P, I've been divorced for 7 years. My marriage ended because my ex-husband cheated on me. He remarried 6 weeks after our divorce was final, and I still can't move on. There were signs that he was unfaithful during the marriage, but I ignored them because I didn't want to believe it. I just did not want to be a statistic. I wanted my marriage to work. We married young, and everyone had so much to say about how it wouldn't last, and I wanted to prove them wrong. I didn't want to give up on my marriage. When he said he was leaving because he just didn't love me anymore, it was like I was stabbed in my heart. Up to today, I replay that moment and our entire relationship and marriage over in my head all of the time. I'm trying to figure out where it began to fall apart. What's wrong with me? I can't keep going through this. I need to move on, but I don't know how. I admit I stalk him on social media to see what is going on with his life. They have 3 beautiful children, and I'm over here just replaying that horrible day over and over. What can I do? Signed, Can't Move On. So, Jamian, would you like to take this first?
That's a look at his face. I know he ain't got nothing good.
Well, this is a tough one because, you know, everybody always tells you just forgive and, you know, and they always tell you to do these things, but nobody ever tells you how. Nobody ever tells you, like, how to actually do it, how to forgive someone, how to move on past someone, how to let someone go. It's not easy. as a person who recently broke up with someone that was not my choice, I have to tell you, it's not easy. I mean, there are nights where you sort of they're missing them. Where you pass by places in the city or places in the house that just bring them to mind. Songs, movies, freaking emails, texts. The traps are all over the place. What I would say helped me, and it's an ongoing battle. It's one of the things that I think is just like when you lose someone who passes away or something. You eventually get to a place where it doesn't hurt to think about them. And so that's what you're trying to do. And I would say choose you. In each moment where your brain, your mind, your emotions want to go and linger and kind of languish on thoughts of that person, choose yourself. Get yourself out of that wherever you are. If you're in the kitchen, leave the kitchen and go outside. Leave the house. If you got pictures of them on your phone, delete them. I'm not saying it's easy because trust me, it took me a while to actually even look at the pictures because even just looking at them hurt. So, pulling up the pictures and deleting them, it doesn't feel great and it's not like you want to cut the person out of your life completely, but sometimes you need to cut them out of the moment to just give yourself a chance to be in a frame of reference, in a frame of living, in a living space that does not include that person. And it hurts, and it sucks, and everyone else around you who before you were looking at them like, wow, okay, now they got the best life ever. They might have had the worst relationship in the world beforehand, but now at least they still got somebody. Right? It's like everyone is doing better than you. And it just becomes that moment where you have to choose yourself. You have to, if working out is your thing, work out. If, if you like wine, go to some wine tastings, meet some new people, mingle. What I would say is don't get caught up in a cycle of hurting yourself, where you start drinking yourself to sleep because that's the only way you can fall asleep. Trust me, it's not. When your body gets tired enough, it will fall asleep without alcohol. Trust me. Or overeating. You start going on these binges where you eat like 3 tubs of ice cream a night and you're eating all fatty foods and stuff. Don't get into a cycle of hurting yourself because sometimes either you subconsciously blame yourself for the breakup or you think you'll never find anyone as good as them or you don't deserve someone that good. Trust me, if we all got what we deserve, well, none of us be happy. Trust me on that. All right, God has a plan for all of us, and so what I would say is you have to treat yourself just like how if your best friend came to you after a breakup, you have to treat yourself like you would treat your best friend. You have to give yourself that same advice you would give your best friend. Help yourself the same way you would help your best friend. You would take your best friend out, get her mind off it, right? Take yourself out, get your mind off it. Go to the movies. Go to a place that's just for you. A place that you like to go to before you found this person. Because trust me, there was life before them, and there will be life after them. But you have to stop dwelling on that past. And it sucks, and again, not easy. It hurts, but you have to make a choice that I am not going to live like this anymore. And until you can do that, you're going to be stuck in that repetitious cycle of just emotionally, physically, and spiritually hurting yourself. Even if it's not with food, drink, or with physical pain, emotionally, you're still killing yourself. Unfriend him on social media. Unfriend him, unfollow him on Instagram. If you got friends that follow him, unfollow them so you don't get any of the ancillary feed. Cut off your social media. I'm going to tell you what, I haven't been on Facebook, Instagram. I haven't been on any social media for a year. And when I first turned it off, I was like, but the second I deleted it and it was gone and there was nothing I could do, it was done, I was like, And I ain't gonna lie. my manager, because I'm an actor, my manager and agent are telling me I need to get back on. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to get back on Instagram and Facebook and all that. I am enjoying not having those worries and not having that time sucked away from me. So, whatever you have to do, and I didn't do that for a breakup, though. I don't want you to think that. But what I'm saying is, because I wasn't on social media, I didn't have that choice to make. But, like I said, unfriend them, unfollow them, delete their pictures. Anything that you go to on a regular basis that has something of them involved in it, get rid of it. Get rid of that part of them if you can. And you're going to find that it's going to hurt still because you can't control your brain like we were talking about with the last topic. You can't always control your thoughts. So it will hurt. You will still have those lingering thoughts and memories and dreams or what have you. And you'll be wondering, I wonder what they're doing right now. He's probably laughing with her, blah, blah, blah. But eventually, the more you create your own life away from him, the less and less that becomes, and the stronger you become, and the more you're able to function till you get to a place where you can think about him and pray and hope that he's well and blessed and all that, but it not be a detriment to yourself because you're fine. So yeah, I hope he finds happiness because you still care about him. Let's be honest. Once you care about someone, it's really hard to just stop caring. So you'll get to a point eventually, but you have to start making choices now for you. And I think the best thing you do is, like I said, treat yourself like your best friend. Your best friend came over and told you all this. What would you tell her? How would you help her to get out of that mode, that mindset, and get over her ex? And if you approach yourself with that same care, concern, and love, I think you'll see eventually you're starting to get on the other side of it.
Yeah, excellent. I'm going to go next, and then Naomi, and then we're going to finish with Cousin Howard. So, my thought on it to the letter writer, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You loved someone deeply. You were hurt and betrayed. You're grieving, and honestly, there is no time limit on grief. You've got your well-meaning friends and associates. Oh, get over it. There's no time limit on grief. And it's common. I mean, it looks to me that this relationship was toxic. I mean, 6 weeks after your divorce was final, there was a marriage. I mean, that was really quickly that it happened. But, it's hard, but it can be done. Don't beat yourself up. Because even as I read this and, your last paragraph, what's wrong with me? It's nothing wrong with you. And to me, maybe you have people in your circle that's saying, it's something wrong with you. You need to move on. Like I said, no one can tell you how you should feel, how you should deal with any kind of situation. When you've been cheated on, it causes you to devalue yourself. He told you that he never loved you. I mean, during a breakup, people can be really unkind, insensitive, really mean, and whether or not that's really a true statement or he was just trying to hurt you, what it did, it caused you to feel that you were less than. And really my recommendation to you is that you find a specialist that specializes in toxic relationship survival. I don't know, you don't tell us how long you were married before the divorce happened, just that it was 7 years ago that the divorce happened. But I think the first step to healing would be to talk to a therapist and just really someone that can help you, but don't feel like there's anything wrong with you, that you did anything wrong. What Jamie said, yeah, you're going to have to cut them off social media, block them, do whatever you have to do so that you don't stalk them. If you need to come off social media yourself because you get weak, you know, you happen to be scrolling through, you're like, let me see what's so. So maybe you need to just come off. I mean, I know for myself, for the first time ever, I changed my phone number. And I've never done that, but it was, and it wasn't, the breakup was my decision, but I felt like I couldn't just block, and I am the original blockbuster, I ain't gonna lie, but I couldn't just block them. I just had to change my number. I didn't want any kind of way, because if I blocked them, they could call me from another number. I didn't want any communication till I could heal and get past the hurt. And once I got past it, you know, I was okay, but that initial thing, that's what I had to do to be okay. So don't feel bad about anything that you have to do to be okay, because you need to take care of you. No one's going to take care of you but you. So whatever you need to do to be okay, if you need to come off of social media, you know, if you think just blocking them, because blocking them or unfollowing them doesn't stop you from going to go see what they doing. So till you can get to that point, and you will get to that point. It may seem, because it's so long, it's never going to happen. But one day, you're going to be like, I didn't even care about what dude did today. I mean, it's going to come just like that, and it will continue. So you're going to get there, but don't beat yourself up. Don't make yourself feel like, you know, it's something wrong with you. It's not. What you're going through is natural. There's no time limit on anything, regardless of what well-meaning friends have told you. So a licensed therapist that specializes in toxic relationship survival is what I would recommend. Naomi, your thoughts?
I'm going to ask that we move to Cousin Howard and then come to me if you're okay with that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, Cousin.
I agree with both you and Jamin, because I'm a firm believer in hurt people hurt people. And to me, she's still hurting from 7 years ago. Whatever went down between her and her ex has not been resolved in her mind and in her heart. So she's still hanging on to hope, and that's a dangerous thing. Yeah, there's no time limit on getting over somebody. Been there, done that. Hope nobody never goes through that. But it's hard. It's hard. It's one of the hardest things anybody will ever have to do. You know, and it's not something that you take lightly and just say, because people that have never been through it have no idea what advice to give you to get over it. They will sit here and assume until the day you die, but you know what you're going through, and only you can heal you. You know, so you gotta, like Jamin said, cut off social medias. Get off it altogether. Delete it from your phone, delete it from your laptop, your computer, wherever you have it. You know, and start working on you. Do things that make you happy. And anything that reminds you of him, stop right there abruptly and move on to something else. If you like the movies, don't do the movie thing. Do something else. You know, whatever you're doing and it reminds you of him, stop. Okay? And like Lady P say, find you a licensed therapist to help you through this, because you need help, not just friendly help. You need professional help. I'm not saying it in no degrading way or anything like that, but you know, you gotta take care of number one, which is yourself. And then you can move on, but you didn't do nothing wrong and there's nothing wrong with you. You know, people might tell you, girl, you tripping, and why are you still worried about him? It's been years. Those type of people, eliminate them from your life for right now. Until you get over this, they're not good for you. Okay? So you got to start working on you yesterday. and you got to get to the point to where you can see him in the streets or see him somewhere and not lose it per se, because you're still hurting over whatever happened 7 years ago. So my advice, start doing things for yourself. Okay? And it doesn't mean going on different dates and with different people. It means do things for you. Okay? Things that make you smile, things that make you happy, things that don't make you think about the relationship that you just got out of 7 years ago. So, other than what my colleagues already said, there's not much I can add to it other than that. Just do you. For the love of God, do you. And one of these days you're going to wake up and you're going to realize, man, I wasted X amount of years thinking about this. Now I'm over it and I can move on. And hopefully you find someone that loves you for you and want to be around and be with you for the rest of your natural life. And you guys can grow old and happy together. Naomi?
Okay, I'm gonna just kind of piggyback on what all three of you have said. First of all, you've been divorced for 7 years, and so we don't know how long you were married. And he remarried 6 weeks after your divorce, but we don't know how long it took for you to get your divorce. So those are some unknowns. But with that being said, when I look at your letter and I read your letter, one thing that I can tell about you is that you're a loyal person. And because you didn't want to be a statistic, which means you hung into your marriage, even though you knew that he was being unfaithful for you along the way. And when he left you, when the unfaithful person said he didn't love you anymore, it stabbed your heart, but you're still, in your own way, holding on to what the relationship could have been or should have been. So the one thing that I would ask of you and for you is to stop punishing yourself. Is to really give yourself permission to feel something good about yourself again. Replaying it over and over in your mind, trying to see something different when it's a relationship that didn't work. It's what it is. It's a relationship that did not work. And the things that Jamie talked about are real. You have to start to say, okay, I want to, I want to get past this. I want to move on. And you've been given some examples of what that means, what that looks like. And you've even been told what all of us know is that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be painful. But to do that, I think giving yourself permission, we hold ourselves hostage to a situation. And I think just really allowing yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to get past this, or I'm getting past this. And looking at that every day, you can, as you can't stop the thought from popping up, you can acknowledge it when it pops up and give it a less and less impact on your life. So yes, he left. Yes, he's gone. He's 7 years ago. If you've been divorced for 7 years, he married 6 years later. He's been married almost 7 years. And you've been standing in the hurt for almost 7 years. So you've done your time. Grieving is one thing. I know it may take you longer to grieve, but punishing yourself is something else. And so I think, just giving yourself permission to come out of punishment and to own the fact that you are someone past that relationship. And that, yes, they said the marriage wasn't going to last. And guess what? It didn't last. But that's not necessarily your fault. It takes two people to have a relationship. It takes two people to build a relationship. So 7 years of your life has passed. You can look ahead to 7 more years as someone who's no longer punishing themselves, or who's giving themselves permission to live, to feel some joy again, to feel some happiness again. So I just wish you all the best on that journey. And I just pray, I really do pray that you stop punishing yourself, that you just give yourself permission to let that punishment just start to dissolve, and that you can celebrate yourself again.
Yes. Awesome, Naomi. So, letter writer, we all had some really good advice. The main one is to get to a place where you can love yourself. I mean, honestly, because this has beat you down. You're still beating yourself up about it. But you, with the help of a licensed therapist, I think you'll be on the road to where you need to be. And we here are praying and wishing all the best for you, because, you know, we've been in similar situations, each of us collectively, in situations in our lives, and we can speak to that, and hopefully something that we said will stick with you, so that you can, you know, really just take it in and do the next steps to get on the road to yourself, right? Because I think that's where the disconnect is, because of the whole situation that happened. And don't beat yourself up about it. It's okay. You know, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna get better. And one day, as you look back on this, maybe you'll be talking to someone that needs your advice because they're going through something similar. So, you know, that's our hope for you. If no one has any further thoughts for our letter writer, I think we've gone a tad bit over. So we're going to have to call it a night and see each other next week. It was great seeing everyone, though. I missed you last week. And I think that's it for me. So does anyone else have any final thoughts, comments, or whatnot that they'd like to share with our letter writer before we close out?
Well, I'll just say this is Women's History Month, so it's a great time.
True.
It's a great time for you to make a mark.
Right? Exactly.
It's a great
This is
time
your
for you
month.
to make a movement. Yeah, it is your month. So yeah, let's I would love for you somewhere down the line to write a letter to us and let us know that at the very least that you came out with lessons from this, that you're stronger as a result of going through this, and that you're in a much better place. So yeah. We would love to hear that follow-up feedback from you.
Absolutely.
True. And Cousin Howard would like a picture so he can use you to picture during his sexual escapade.
Really, Jamie?
Really, bro?
He needs some new material.
But Jamie, really, Cousin called me up. I was like, because he never calls me. I'm always calling him, checking on me. So he called. He's like, Cuz, I got this topic. I was like, okay, Cousin, all right, what is it? Well, and I'm like, I'm just saying. But you know, I love you, Cousin. You're my favorite cousin.
You really and truly trying to park the freedom bus on me, huh?
I'm going to tell you, Cousin Howard, I've been holding back this comment, but I got to share it with you. So I talk to people about, you know, they'll say that they've checked out a segment of the show or something like that and everything, and they talk about it, they always say, but that Cousin Howard. So you are the celebrity on the show.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You are truly the celebrity on the. I was like, I don't even, but I gotta tell you, I've heard it from more. I would say more than 10 people. I've heard it. Like, but that Cousin Howard, he gets. Oh, I listen for Cousin Howard. Okay, all right.
Well,
okay.
What about the stuff we be saying?
What about us? But I just can't wait to hear what Cousin Howard got to say. I'm like, okay, so you are.
And even when Ben's wife came on to be his lifeline, she's like, but where's Cousin Howard? I'm like, everybody love Cousin Howard. But you know, I love you too, Cousin. You're my favorite cousin.
Because I say the things that people are only thinking. I'm their voice.
I don't think that's why. I don't really think that's why, but
I think you say the things no one is thinking.
right?
I think you are a voice.
and they listen to it for the comedic element. Like, what is Cousin Howard gonna say now? I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not putting words into their mouth. I mean, if I'm wrong, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm just saying. That's what I had thought.
I had to share it. I had to go ahead and share it because I've heard it too many times.
Tell him I said thank you.
I think his head just grew like 4 sizes.
I know. I think so too. Either that or he like bringing it closer to the camera, but it, because it's like cutting off the top of it because it's so,
Really, cuz? Really?
I'm looking.
You want to go that route with me?
What you trying to say? What you saying?
I'm just saying.
Oh, you better be just saying. But anyway, guys, it was a great show. As you can tell, audience, we have missed each other. We love it when we get a chance to get together as a panel and talk through these things and just get to see and talk to each other because, we're all in different locations. So, it's good to come together once a week. So I thank you, my panel. And I thank you guys that are watching the show, listening to the show. We hope that something we shared is helpful or, the way how things go, it always is that maybe in a conversation with someone, something is going to come up and you're like, and something we said will click. So if that's the case, we're happy to do that as well. So we thank you. We will see you same time next week. And guys, thank you much. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. So guys, we have come to the end of our time together. We hope that you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed having you. And we will be back same time next week. So 7 p.m., the New Relationship Show. So check us out, all right? Take care.
96.2 the smooth. Grown Folks Radio with Lady Q.